Hey guys, Thrasher here. Today I want to talk about stacking Z abilities, the ability bonus meter, and how it affects team building and how it actually works. Let's talk about it right now. Okay, so first things first, let's go into change equip because this is the easiest way that we can see these stats that we're talking about and watch them change quickly. So at the bottom here, we see ability bonus is 1202.85%. The way that works is it's going to take all of the percentage-based bonuses that all of the characters on your team are getting, add them together, and that is the final value down there. So what I mean by that is if we open Broly up real quick and we go to show details and then go over to his ability, Z ability. The Z ability affects every single character on the team, 21% to episode sagas from the movies. So any character that is episode sagas from the movies is going to get a 21% boost to blast attack during battle. So let's assume that this is 10% just to make the math super easy. 10% to blast attack, and we'll assume that all of these 6 characters have that specific episode. So the ability bonus down below would go from 0%, assuming none of them have Z abilities, none of them have equipment on, we'll get to that in just a second. It would go from 0% up to 60%, because all 6 of them get a 10% boost. And then that's how you figure out the boost for the Z abilities. Pretty straightforward, pretty simple. Where it gets a little more complicated is the equipment, and here's why. The equipment also gives boosts. So if we open this up, we'll see that he gets a 13.45% base blast attack boost, 8.15% to strike defense, 10.5% to strike attack. Great. So if you add all those together and then look at the bottom, if you were to remove that, it will change this value down here. Here's the thing. Some people have teams like this, for example, where 4 or maybe 5 of these characters will be battling, and then my bottom character, this extreme cooler, whatever you want to call him, does not ever battle. He's just there for the Z ability. So here's the thing. If I add equipment to him, this ability bonus is still going to go up. So we're at 1202.85. If I add one to him, if we look at this one right here, we have multiple bonuses here. We have 9.8% to strike attack. We have 7.05% to blast defense. And then you'll notice there's something else here where not all of these stats are created equally. 27.1% green strike damage reduction. It's not 1-to-1 to the blast attack, blast defense. Those even aren't 1-to-1, but they're pretty close. This is a completely different type of stat, so trying to add these all up 1-to-1 really doesn't make any sense. But let's assume that we do it. That means that all of these together are going to be 43.95%. Our old number was 1202.85. So if we add those together, it should go to 1246.8. So let's go ahead and add that right here and then hit confirm. And as I said, it went up to 1246.8. So what I'm trying to convey here is this ability bonus at the bottom really doesn't mean anything because it's adding up a bunch of bonuses that all of your characters are getting that are not 1-to-1. So you could see a team that has an ability bonus of 2200, 2300, and then you could see another team that has an ability bonus of 1100, 1200, and the team that has the ability bonus of 1200 may actually have units that are significantly more buffed than the team that is 2500, 2400, for the reasons that I just mentioned. One, you could have stats that are huge that aren't 1-to-1 to other stats, or you could have equipment and Z abilities affecting characters that you don't use in battle just to try and get that ability bonus up higher, or maybe they're there out of necessity, but either way, that's how that works. Now, one more thing I want to mention here is Z abilities and equipment. They give you bonuses. Those bonuses affect the base stats. So let's say that you have Broly who has 700,000 health, and then through soul boosting, he gets another 150,000, so he has 850,000 health. If he has a Z ability that affects him and gives him 10% more health to his base health, he is not going to get 85,000 health, 10% of 850,000. He's going to get 10% of his base before the soul boosting. So 700,000, he gets 10% of that, 70,000 health. Now, you don't have to follow all that math. Just understand the concept that all of these boosts are to the base stats before the soul boosting. So soul boosting is significant, but it does not get affected by all of these stat increases. These are all just fairly important things to keep in mind when building your team, simply because you may have 3 characters on the bottom that you never intend to fight with, and their only job is to boost your top 3 characters with their Z ability, maybe they're not getting boosted by each other, it's fine to have a low ability bonus, assuming that you're boosting the correct characters. That number down there really doesn't mean anything, it's just for bragging rights. The last thing to mention is that Z abilities and equipment abilities are additive, not multiplicative. So what that means is, let's say that you have a Z ability that increases your health by 10%, and then one that increases it by 15%, you're not going to multiply 10 by 15, you're going to add those together, so it's going to be a 25% boost. I know most people understand that, but I have gotten a few questions about that, so I just want to make sure that was very clear. And with that being said, you should have a good understanding of how ability bonuses actually work in the game, and what that number down below signifies as you're building your team out and putting equipment on them. So hopefully this was helpful. If you have any more questions about equipment or Z abilities or ability stacking, throw it down below and I'll try to answer it. And if you like this content, make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.